Every Fortnite character is the exact same height. Now, this can be a little weird, especially when you have characters that blatantly should not be the same size. But why is that? Why are all Fortnite characters the exact same height? It's actually pretty straightforward. It's to keep the game fair. If everybody's the same height and they've got the same hitboxes, there's no advantages or disadvantages to playing as a smaller or bigger character. This is actually why a lot of people choose to play as women characters, because they believe the smaller build will give them more of an advantage. This, by the way, is not true. All characters currently in Fortnite have the exact same hitboxes. But the real question is, can it be done? Can it be fixed? And would it even bother you? Other games have done it. It currently exists in other shooter games. So why can't Fortnite do this? We're going to discuss that in this video. So first of all, obviously there are limits to this. You could not have a character like the size of Godzilla or King Kong or like Iron Giant or some kind of freakishly large character. That simply would not work. But I do believe they could get away with this to some degree by simply just making the characters mesh a little bit bigger, but keep the hitboxes the same. Now that would cause slight confusion, I think, but I'm sure, you know, if they can build a whole Fortnite Lego, I'm sure they can figure out how to do this. Other games have done it in the past, like I've said. Now, another big issue would be the cameras. Obviously, Fortnite is a third-person shooter. So, if you have a big, bulky character in the way, it may take up more of the screen, which then would put you at a disadvantage. Same if you're a smaller character, it would just be a little bit weird. You would have to change that. On top of that, the emotes would have to change, vehicles may have to change, simply how you animate getting through windows and doors. Obviously, with slightly bigger or smaller characters, they would have to make this work. So yeah, a lot of work would have to be done to the game just to make this idea work. But can it be done? After all, like I said, other games have done it, much older games, such as Halo 3, you could play as the elites in that game. Team Fortress and Time Splitters 2 also had games where you had various sized characters, and I'm sure that's just a few of many. So here are some of my ideas of how I think this could work. And honestly, I have to ask you guys, would it actually bother you to play against bigger characters or smaller characters? Like, you have to think about the possibilities this could bring and how much better it could make some of the skins. I mean, they have definitely overused the whole mech idea now for smaller characters. They've done this with Rick and Morty, they've done this with The Simpsons, and they've just today done this with South Park. And I'm personally getting a little bit sick of seeing that. I mean, with South Park, they had no excuses. They had multiple ideas they could have done there. I do believe this may be one of the reasons they added in psychics, so they can throw in characters like SpongeBob, Towley, and they'll, in the future, more than likely add other smaller characters as opposed to making them skins. But I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, psychics is a whole other topic for another day. I definitely feel like they need more value to the game, especially since they're charging the same prices as skins. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. The question of the video: would it bother you to play against characters of different sizes? For me, no. I think it'd be quite funny to see characters like, I don't know, small characters like Yoda jumping around, or like Chucky from Child's Play. That would just add so much more, I don't know how to even describe it. It would just make the game feel a lot more wacky and a lot more fun, and I would love to see that. And here's how they could do it. For, you know, modes like Zero Build, or just in general have a non-competitive mode where you can just be any skin you want. Rejig the mechanics so it actually works with the game, add new animations, you know, for smaller and bigger characters, and just let everyone go for it. If you're not playing ranked, then who cares, honestly? They could take that even further, in fact, and maybe, you know, let's say you play as a big, large character like the Hulk. Maybe you're slower, but you have more health, but you can't sprint, for example. Or if you're a smaller character, maybe you have less health but more stamina and you can move a little bit faster. They could actually make it more competitive by adding different types of characters. So yeah, you would have some advantage being a bigger or smaller character, but it also comes at a cost as well. And that could make the game and the overall playstyle of people a lot more interesting. Definitely something to think about. Then obviously for ranked, you just play as all the same skins as you normally would now. Everyone's the same size. It's completely equal in a competitive match. But would you guys be up for seeing that? Different types for each skin: a heavy skin, a normal skin, and a light skin. Wait, that sounded a bit weird. You get the gist of what I'm saying. You could have different types for different skins, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. A lot of games do this. For example, in a game like Naruto Shinobi Striker, you can play as an attack type, a defensive type, a heal type. You know, add that to Fortnite, or make a completely separate new game mode. Well, they could add a third option. Let's say you buy a character like the Hulk, you get like a 9-foot tall character, or even like a, you know, like a 7-foot basketball player, or like the Undertaker. You get like larger characters more true to scale. That would be pretty sick. And that opens up so much more to the game. Like I said before, your playstyles could be based on who you actually play as. It would actually add more value to the skin, because right now, let's be honest, we all fall for this stupid shit where we see a character that we like. For example, I love Halo, so I always play as Master Chief. Or when the Simpsons update came along, I was like, oh, I like Ned Flanders. Or even today, I'm probably going to go and buy the Eric Cartman skin, but it actually doesn't make my game any better. But imagine if it could. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I am going to end this video here, guys. I want to keep this one nice, short, and sweet. But one thing I want to say is I'm kind of making a comeback on this channel. I've had a busy few months, so I've not been able to fully commit to this channel as much as I would like to. So if you go and look at the channel now, you're going to see a whole mess of different types of content. But primarily, I make gaming-related content. I also like drinking Monster, and I like lifting heavy weights. So if it sounds like we could get on, be sure to hit the subscribe button. More good content is coming soon. I'm working really hard on my editing and overall quality, and I hope that shows. And also, I want to say, when I do come back properly, let's say Feb, March, we're going to do consistent, long live streams of gaming. From old games to new games, we're going to play through some absolute bangers. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Like the video, and I'll see you in... What am I doing? I'll see you in the next one. Bye.